the Aston Villa game this weekend on Sunday, 2 o'clock kickoff at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. This is going to be a very, very tough game. Aston Villa seeming like they're just about turning a corner. Last 2 games they've beaten Everton 3-0, and they went to Old Trafford and won 1-0 and put in a good account for themselves as well at Old Trafford, didn't they?
They did. They were brilliant throughout most of the game, to be honest. And Man United struggled to deal with them. And it wasn't even, they had a few players out. They had that Bailey who scored, who came on and did brilliantly against Everton last week. He was injured. They had a couple of other injuries as well, but they managed to manage the situation. They made up for it with hard work, grit and determination. And as much as, they had maybe a bit of lack of quality against Man United, they outworked them. That's what they did. They outworked Man United, and they made it very difficult for Man United to create good quality opportunities. They a number of times they're able to nick the ball off the Man United centre mids and defenders. Even De Gea was giving the ball away to their strikers, and that was causing problems and opportunities and potential goals. They didn't get the goal till right at the end, but they definitely deserved the victory, and obviously got a bit of luck with Bruno missing a penalty right at the end as well. But they deserved the win. They deserved the win just for the hard work they put in, and that goes to show, that performance goes to show you, even because on paper Man United's team was much better than Villa's team, but it goes to show you when you put in the hard yards and the effort in, and you show a bit of passion and you don't get bullied and you outwork the opposition like we used to do, it can breed really good results. And when you outwork the opposition with quality, that's when you get serious results like title challenges. But when you're at our level, you just need to have that kind of work ethic just to kind of be within the top 5 at the moment.
Exactly.
And that's what we're doing.
If you don't have that work ethic, you got nothing pretty much. If you don't have the quality in the squad, and that's the facts that matter. And if we go out this weekend and lose to Aston Villa, what a change of events from last international break to this international break. We won all our games before the first international break. Now we're going to lose all our games in the build up to the second one. It's ridiculous. And
I think they'll be licking their lips looking at this game, to be honest. They'll be licking their lips looking at their form, our form. Not just that, they know that they can outwork us. They know they can, because they've shown it already with the last week's win at Man United. So this is we said this last week against Arsenal, and we'll say it again. If Tottenham turn up with the right attitude, if we play a system which allows us to, if we do work hard and we do put in the hard yards, we have superior quality to Villa on the pitch. I really believe that. I think our players generally, obviously they have players like Ings and Watkins who are very good, and Mings is a good centre-back, Martinez is a good goalkeeper. They McGinn's a tough opponent in the central midfield. They have quality of their own, but I genuinely believe on the pitch, our quality is probably better than them. But I think it's all about the team work ethic. It's all about the cohesion within them and everyone fighting for each other. They have that at the moment, and currently Spurs just don't.
Yeah.
And that's a very big difference as to why I'm obviously worried going into the game. But hopefully Nuno can get these players motivated and get them and maybe obviously come up with a better system than he did against Arsenal to combat what Villa are going to offer. It'll be interesting because Villa play a back 3, or they played a back 3 last game. So how we combat that is going to be difficult, because they obviously, if we play the 4-3-3 system, I have a feeling, out on the wings, if they're going to play 2 up front, that could be hard to deal again.
What are they playing? Were they playing 5 at the back?
3-5-2.
3-5-2.
It's going to be difficult to combat that, because you're thinking, can we dominate in the centre midfield? No, because they got 3 in there, 3 hard-working players as well.
Who is it? John McGinn, who's bloody hard-working.
They got McGinn, Douglas Luiz, and they had Ramsey there last week. Whether they make a sub there, I'm not sure, but that's the 3 they had. They had Matt Cash and Matt Targett on the fullbacks, wing-backs, who we know they both like to get forward quite well. They're not like the most amazing fullbacks, but they're quite decent.
Do you not think if we have Skip, Højbjerg, Lo Celso in the middle there, we can combat them in midfield? Because the energy of Højbjerg and Skip, should be able to see us through.
Yeah, McGinn's very energetic. Yeah. Louise is quite good as well.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying we can't. I'm just saying we're not going to outnumber them. We're not going to outnumber them in the centre. And then they got 2 strikers up front. If they get if they open up space in our behind the midfield, those true strikers, Danny Ings and Watkins, they're dangerous. Very dangerous.
Would you potentially look to match them up on the weekend?
Potentially, but I'm just trying to think.
Back three of Romero, Rodon, Dyer, or someone like that, or Romero, Tanganga, and Dyer potentially. Emerson and Reguilon on the flanks. In the middle, we can play a midfield three of Skip, Højbjerg, and Lo Celso with Son and Kane up front.
Look, I would be tempted to do that. The only thing I would say is, it's a system that we haven't played so much, so we're not going to be that used to it. Which, we haven't played too much three at the back under Nuno, so it's going to be difficult.
The 4-3-3 system's doing us any favours anyway.
No, but it's about if they're doing it in training and stuff like that, yeah, for sure. I think matching them up could be positive because it would negate them having too much control on the width. I think I think when it comes to our two strikers against their two strikers, we'll probably have the superior two. As much as Ings and Watkins are two brilliant strikers, Kane and Son are probably a different level. So if we're both team, if it's going to come a battle between who has the better strikers, then we'll win that. So if we can turn it into that, that'll be good. But it'll be, I don't know. It's just whether we go to that system and then all of a sudden we look out of sorts and we don't know how to play it. That's what I'd be worried about with it.
Yeah, but surely Nuno has got his game plan ready for this game and he's working on it on the training pitch anyway. So if it is that system, then I'm sure he's working it on the training pitch right now. But how do we stop Danny Ings? Because he always seems to get a goal against us. Always. For Southampton, literally every single time we played them, he would score a goal. How do we stop this guy?
Just you have to get close to him. I think the perfect person to stop him is Romero, because Romero won't step off him. He won't let him shoot. He's gonna be aggressive against him. I feel like we're never aggressive against Danny Ings. We let him get the run on us. We let him get the ball to feet and get shots off and stuff like that. We need Romero to anticipate passes into Ings and be strong with him. And as much as Ollie Watkins is a great striker, he's more of a penalty box striker than someone like Danny Ings. Like, he's much more like getting on the end of crosses, hold up play, stuff like that, whereas Danny Ings is much more likes the ball to feet, likes to bend shots into the far corner, likes to create angles for shots and stuff like that. So I actually think if you had Romero on Ings and then one of Rodon or Sanchez or something on the Watkins, that could be the recipe of how to combat that front two. Because I think Romero stepping in and being aggressive against Ings, he'll be difficult to deal with. He'll be like a rash that Ings can't shake off. And any crosses into Watkins that come in, then you got Rodon or Sanchez just gobbling them up and clearing it and doing that other side of the defending that Romero's maybe not as strong at. So that's what I'll do with Danny Ings, just literally get Romero on him all the time. The only problem is if Romero's on the right and Ings is on the left, then it gets a bit complicated. But it's something you have to manage.
And we're forgetting as well, like in the midweek in the League Cup as well, they went to Chelsea and got a draw, albeit they lost on penalties, but still impressive.
Yeah. Very impressive. Very impressive. Villa are a team at the moment who they've clearly settled into the season now. They had a poor start. I still don't think they're as good as when they had, not as good, but I still think they're missing Grealish big time.
I like Buendia though.
I like Buendia, but I still think they are missing Grealish quite badly. I don't feel like they're as creative as they were with Grealish in the team, so they're missing that. But they're making up for it with hard work. They're making up with a mentality within the team that everyone's fighting for each other, and it means that even when they're not playing well, they're still in the game. They're still compact. They're still hard to play against. So even if they're not being creative, and even if the passes aren't coming off for them, it's still not going to be easy to play against them. They're not going to let their heads drop. They're always going to be in the game, and it's going to be very, very difficult for Spurs on Sunday to really take the game to Villa. It's going to be very difficult. But look, we have the quality to do it. It's all about having the right attitude mentality going into this game.
That's what it always boils down with us. Maybe not in the kind of fringe games, but with the fringe players and stuff, because I'm not sure if the quality is actually there. But with our first starting 11, there's a lot of quality in that team, and we just need to go into games with right attitude, right mentality, and it's got to be helped with Nuno's tactics as well.
Yeah, we can't be playing Dele and Ndombele up front. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We can't be going out to a game with no midfield, pretty much. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. We got a super chat here from Fred Red 50. Says Villa found their rhythm using the 3-5-2 without using their biggest signings Buendia and Bailey, and without Watkins having scored yet. Up the mighty Villa.
So he's a Villa player. He's a Villa fan.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They've created a system, a way of working, which is working for them, and it's not necessarily down to quality. It's down to just everyone working hard for each other, and that's what's making Villa be very effective at the moment. But if you have the superior quality and you match their work rate, that's how you get that. There's no stopping you.
Yeah.
But it's all about us matching what they can offer physically, and hopefully our fitness can get. Look, we're still building it at the moment. We all know that our team is a bit unbalanced when it comes to fitness at the moment, but hopefully on Sunday, Nuno can pick from a selection of players who are physically ready to play. That's why you just got to pray for that, honestly. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult.
How do you rate Aston Villa's transfer window compared to ours? Because I thought they had a brilliant transfer window, bringing Leon Bailey, Danny Ings, Buendia as well. I know they brought in some other players, Ashley Young and stuff like that. But those three players, they probably all get into our team, don't they?
Buendia, Leon Bailey, and who's the other one? Danny Ings. I don't know. I don't think any of them get into our team.
You don't think Buendia gets into our team?
Buendia potentially, maybe ahead. Look, you could say he's better than Lo Celso and Ndombele. Potentially, we don't know. Look, he did well last time he was in the Premier League, but he didn't set the world alight. And did extremely well.
That creativity that we desperately need, Buendia.
Look, it's whether you think he's better than he takes Ndombele or Lo Celso's position. It's whether you think he's better than them.
Maybe not like starting 11 every single week and week out, but they would see a lot of minutes.
Look, he's definitely good enough for our squad. 100%.
Buendia, Leon
Bailey likes to play on the left hand side, so I don't know if he does ahead of Son. Maybe he'd get in on the right. Probably, maybe ahead of. You could argue maybe get ahead of Lucas.
I'm pretty sure he played on the right a lot for Leverkusen.
He can play either wing. Wherever he definitely gets in ahead of Lucas. He definitely has a better goal output than Lucas. I feel like Lucas's consistency when he's dribbling and stuff is a bit better than Bailey. But Bailey definitely has a better shot and consistency in front of goal than Lucas. I feel that. Those three are definitely good enough for our squad. Ings would be perfect backup striker. They would all get into our squad. Whether they'd all get into our first team is another question.
I reckon they could fight their way into the first. I don't think, in terms of out-and-out quality, they might not be better with the actual players that we have, but I think they've all... I'm not sure about Bailey because I haven't seen him that much in the Premier League just yet, but I think in terms of Buendia and Ings, they've all got the mentality and the work rate where they can actually fight their way into this team.
What you would say about them three signings is they definitely signing Spurs could have made. Definitely signing Spurs could have made and improved our squad.
Yeah.
That's the truth. So on the face of it, yeah, you got to say they did a decent job, and I think they did. Look, in terms of replacing Grealish, they did decent. They did well, because I think Buendia doesn't quite fill the hole completely, but he goes some way to filling the hole that Grealish leaves. And then they got Ings and Watkins now up front, so a deadly partnership. And Leon Bailey maybe provides on the wing a bit of X factor, which they didn't have before. Because before they're relying on El Ghazi and relying on Trezeguet, and it's not quite up to scratch. But now they have Bailey there. He adds a bit of quality there. So I think they did well. Does it mean that they're going to be finishing above us? I guess time will tell whether that those three signings will take them to a level which is above Tottenham. I'd like to think not, but the way we're going at the moment, it's hard to make an argument for that. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
It's early days still, isn't it?
Still very early days. It's very early days. Tottenham obviously look all at sea, but look, things change very, very, very quickly in football.
Yeah,
that's the truth. And things could change very quickly. One win or two wins in a row for Tottenham, things start to look very different.
Football's so reactionary. You're always only ever 2 games away from crisis and 2 games away from
1 game away from
great
crisis.
Form, you know what I mean? Like I don't think anyone fine, that Crystal Palace defeat was bad, but after that game, everyone may have thought, oh, it's just a blip, maybe the injuries. But then everything's just compounded on it, and now we're in full-blown crisis mode, aren't we?
Yeah, that's happened. Look, that's how it is nowadays. When you're, that's the expectation that's been brought onto us because of how consistent we are under Pochettino. Now 3 defeats and it's a crisis. Didn't always used to be that way, but now it is.
But ultimately, we haven't had 3 bad defeats like this in a row since the early 2000s.
That's also true. That is also true, to be fair. That's a good point. So, but it's hard to say. It's hard to say whether Nuno's... I still think Nuno is working out who he can trust, who he can't trust, what players are good at what and stuff like that.
But his tactics aren't helping things, that's the thing.
No, but he's still finding the best way to play with the team. I don't know what he was thinking on Sunday. But maybe I can just assume...
I don't know what he was thinking against Crystal Palace either.
I can just assume on Sunday he was thinking if we go really direct and gung ho, we can outscore Arsenal. That's the only thing I can think he was thinking.
It's like, yeah, fine, go gung ho, but like be a bit more clever about it. You know what I mean? Don't just have one tactic. Get the ball to the defence, push up Ndombele and Dele Alli, and just hope for the best. Basically, hope for a couple of knockdowns, hope to bully their defenders. And then when you see it's not working, carry on trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, to be honest. It really is. But I've had enough talking about that game. Every single conversation that we have always leads back to that game.
Until we've played again, it still hurts, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, it's still going to hurt after that Aston Villa game. It's going to take a long time to get over that, for me, anyway.
I want to see a proper reaction. I want to see potentially Lo Celso start in the centre. I think what will happen is we're going to have a fast start to the game. We're going to come out of the traps and with confidence, maybe get an early goal. And then I think we're going to think like, okay, look at us now. We're confident, we're playing well, and then we'll take our foot off the gas. And then Villa will start outworking us. And I reckon late in the game they'll get an equaliser. And they'll start outworking us in the second half. We're not going to be able to keep up with their work rate. And we'll end up drawing the game. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to disagree with that, to be honest. It's hard to disagree.
Unless we get a couple of goals, and then maybe if we're 2-0 up, maybe we could just about stave off a comeback.
The problem is with this squad, right? We go 1-0 down. I don't see any way back in the game for us.
And we haven't come back yet, have we?
We don't come back. We're like it seems as though we concede 1 goal, heads just completely drop all over the pitch.
You know, Tuchel's only won 1 game from behind. As Chelsea manager.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How many games has he lost or drawn from behind?
Really, you mean just lost?
Yeah.
Or you mean lost from behind?
As in, how many times have they lost or drawn anyway? It hasn't been that many times, has it?
Don't know. They've lost
like how many times have they gone behind is what I'm saying.
Don't know the question to that. Don't know the answer to that.
Well, anyway, that is our kind of match preview for the Villa game.
Danny Heatley says, I want to see desire, and that's the main thing.
That's exactly what we need to see. That's exactly what we need to see. We need to see desire. We need to see aggression. We need to see confidence in that team as well, because it's just so low on confidence, this squad right now. It's just like I said, 1 goal goes in against us, heads drop all over the pitch, and it just seems like there's no way back after going 1-0 down.